So after the truth transmission, you may be experiencing these involuntary movements, the spontaneous movements of the body, that the body just needs to move around, or these kind of involuntary, spontaneous, almost like mudras happening, these different body postures. You might also just involuntarily go into some sort of like yoga stretch, or just wanting to just move the body and stretch, and it's just happening, and it feels like it's just naturally occurring. You're not thinking about doing it. It's not like you've planned to do it. It just starts happening. And this is really this contracted energy that's wanting to be liberated. There's different conditionings, contractions of the mind, identifications with the mind that you are becoming aware of, that you're more aware of now. And it appears like these thoughts that were hiding in your subconscious seem to be illuminated by the light of awareness. It feels like they just kind of surface to the top of the water to be seen. And as you're seeing these thoughts that are arising, there's also these spontaneous movements that are happening. The two are linked. These unconscious beliefs, patterns, conditionings are really linked to these movements, because it's this energy that's contracted that just wants to expand and be liberated. And this is really the Kundalini, the universal energy that everything's made up of. And you'll find that the more you receive the truth transmission, or the more you're able to simply tune into yourself, abide as awareness, rest in your being, be yourself. These are all synonymous. I'm just using them interchangeably. You'll find that it just seems to kind of work its way out of you, that this energy just starts freeing itself. You'll notice that certain conditionings don't have the same kind of grip. Certain patterns don't control you as much. You'll notice that you will stop being so identified with the activity of the mind. You'll notice that you're able to simply watch the mind more. You'll notice that as this energy starts being liberated more and more, or this feeling of expansion more and more, there's also more and more distance that's created from the mind and that which you are. So the key is really just surrendering to what is happening. Just kind of go with it. You'll notice that when these involuntary movements are arising, it's happening effortlessly. It feels natural. And when this is happening, this is a good sign that you're simply being yourself. This is a good sign that you're resting in your being. This is a good sign that you're abiding as awareness. It's like a purification process that's happening, where all of these really ingrained patterns, these deep impressions in the mind. Which could also be called samskaras. They're being purified. They're being like burnt by the holy fire of awareness. They're being seen and burned. Everything that you're not is being burned away, purifying yourself, leaving that which you are. So you'll start noticing that as that energy is expanding, as that energy feels like it's being liberated more and more, you might feel like your chest was always contracted and your shoulders were always rounded. There might feel like, it's like there's an opening. You might feel like even just certain energy pathways in the body are just more free. They're more, you're able to move your hand back more than you were before. Everything feels more open, expansive. The lung capacity feels more expansive. Even just the nostrils feel more open. It feels like there's more of a channel that you're able to draw in even more air into the body. It feels like just like the windpipe, the nostril, this whole pathway feels almost more of like a canal or like a tube that's not restrictive, that's not contracted, that's not blocked. So there's this feeling like a lot of the energy is stuck in certain areas and it just wants to like break free from certain areas of the body. Likewise, there's certain patterns that are arising that you have not seen yet in the mind that hasn't become conscious. And what naturally happens when you're simply just resting in your being is it's like it all just starts surfacing just gradually. And anything that needs to be seen will simply arise. And as long as you're resting in your being, you see everything. You see everything. And it's that kind of watching it, just being aware of it, that's just purifying, that you're simply just being present with that which arises. And you'll notice that it happens almost simultaneously, that as you're watching it, then you'll notice that it feels like something dropped from the body physically. Feels like there's weight that just left the body. Feels like something opened up physically and mentally, that there's now this more open space. It feels like there's not this strong contraction anymore. So you'll notice the contrasts in terms of the expansion. The body will feel expansive. The energy body will feel expansive. The mental body will feel expansive, right? These emotions, they won't feel so sticky anymore. There won't be anything blocking it. Because these emotions, essentially, they're getting trapped in the body, right? They're getting trapped in the body. And this energy in motion, emotions, it's not really in motion anymore. It's like it's stuck. And it's kind of happening in the mind where instead of it being stuck at the bottom, it starts coming to the surface, sort of say, to be seen. And when it's seen, it's then you're present with it fully. It's being experienced fully. And then it's like a release of it mentally. There's a release of it emotionally. There's a release of it energetically. There's a release of it physically. Right? So it's really hard to separate these because it's multidimensional. Right? So it's nothing that you kind of really need to force, because any sort of effort towards this kind of takes you, again, language is not accurate when I speak like this, but it takes you away from your being, where then it doesn't feel natural. Anything that you force does not feel natural. So you'll notice that it's just more of when you're just relaxing, and anything that maybe that you're doing, maybe it's some yoga, or maybe it's just walking, being mindful, anything that just allows you to feel natural and effortless, you'll kind of notice that some of these things start happening. And it's just to kind of just know that it's just a natural process. And there's nothing that you need to do in order to like kind of hurry it along. There's nothing that you need to do to kind of, try and force it. It's more of just surrendering to it, that this energy is intelligent and it will liberate itself, you could say. It will free itself. It knows what to do. This is the kind of the rising of Kundalini, you can say. That it won't stop until it's liberated. Right? So the key to Kundalini is it's surrendering. It's just surrendering control. And you'll find the more you surrender control, the more natural you feel. The more you surrender control, the more effortless you are. Because trying to control everything takes a lot of effort. Trying to control everything in life is very unnatural. Right? So coming back to your being, resting as yourself, being yourself, has got to be the most natural, the most effortless. It takes no effort to be yourself. It's effortless to simply just be. So this involuntary movements, or these involuntary mudras, or spontaneous yoga postures or positions or stretches that are happening, it's kind of just enjoy it. Just go with the flow. Just let it happen. Don't create this thought that says, there's something wrong with me. This shouldn't be happening. This is weird. What are they going to think? What's going to happen to me? That then is actually a blockage. That's something that needs to be seen and let go of. Right? So it's kind of more of reassurance that this is natural, part of the process, not to fear it, not to think anything's wrong with you. You're not going to, spontaneously combust. And it's just, it's energy, right? It's this whole process is energetic, right? After the truth transmission, there's an energetic shift that has happened. Something is active, and that which is active, just it's pure intelligent energy. That there's just this process now on the relative level. That there's this process that is just going to do its thing. And the more you're able to just get out of its way, then it's just effortless. It's just effortless, and it just starts kind of expanding or feeling like there's this freedom, this release. And really that's this kind of big, Kundalini awakening, and it could be very energetic, and it's like it could be. I'm not saying it's like that for everyone. For myself, it was the most beautiful experience that one can have. It's the pinnacle of mystical experiences, but also it's just an experience, right? So it's something that's happening on the relative level, and it's just a natural process. See it as like it's like puberty. It's just a natural process, but it's just now it's kind of like this new awareness of more. You're more aware of energy. You're more aware of this subtle body now, this subtle energy body that's behaving a certain way, you could say. Realize that you're aware of it all, right? So the energy is going to be released. There's going to be expansion. There's going to be this kind of feeling like certain areas of the body are more free. You're going to feel like there's certain mental spaces that are kind of free, certain things that it'll almost feel like they don't control you anymore. They'll feel like you've kind of retreated from the mind a little bit and you're more and more meditative. You'll find that as this is happening, you're becoming more and more meditative. It's like I say, meditation is not what you do. Meditation is what you are. And after receiving the truth transmission, you're meditative. You're experiencing what natural meditation is, right? Just listen to these words. It's always effortless. It's natural. These are, when you're tuning into that, then you're really tuning into your true nature, because your true nature has got to be natural. You're tuning into yourself. Yourself is effortless. It's effortless to be yourself. So don't worry, don't fear it. Just let it happen. Just let go. Let it happen. And simply just surrender to the process. Hopefully this helps. I'll see you in the next one.